I never imagined that intimacy could be used as a weapon in a marriage, but that's exactly what happened to me. My name is Liam. My wife, Sophia, and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5. We had 2 kids, a nice house, and what looked like a perfect life to everyone on the outside. But behind closed doors, our relationship had been crumbling for years. It all started with little things. A cold touch, a quick goodnight, a distant hug. I told myself it was just stress from work or being tired from raising the kids. But over time, the intimacy between us vanished almost completely. I'd try to connect, to hold her hand, to cuddle on the sofa while watching TV, or just talk late into the night. But she became more and more distant. Then one evening, everything changed. The kids were asleep, and we were lying in bed. I reached out for a simple hug, just wanting to feel close to her. She pulled away sharply and said, so casually it was chilling, "Liam, only one night a month. That's all I can give you, no more." I was stunned. 1 night a month? Was she serious? Was this some kind of cruel joke? My heart just sank. I loved her, I'd supported her, I'd tried so hard to keep our bond strong. And now I was facing a cold, hard truth. I wasn't enough for her. She had given up on me, on us, on the closeness that makes a marriage real. I didn't say anything right away. I didn't yell, I didn't beg, I didn't cry. I just lay there in silence, staring at her, but inside a storm was raging. I realized in that moment I had 2 choices. I could accept her emotional withdrawal and live in this half-life of neglect. Or I could take her words at face value and hold her to them. I chose the latter. In the weeks that followed, I started treating her exactly as she'd instructed. No more spontaneous hugs in the kitchen. No more leaning in when she sat next to me on the couch. No more reaching for her hand. I was polite, I was respectful, but I kept my distance. I was there for our kids, a present father, but I refused to be the only one trying to fill the emotional void she had created. At first, she didn't seem to notice. She probably thought I was just busy or tired. But as the days stretched into weeks, the tension in the house became thick enough to cut with a knife. I watched her grow frustrated, confused, and then increasingly desperate for the very connection she had so casually denied me. But I didn't give in. I stuck to the rules she had set. When the one designated night of the month arrived, I followed her instruction to the letter. We were together, just as she had demanded. But I was mechanical, without warmth, without love, without any real emotion. She tried to smile, to be playful, to reignite some kind of spark between us, but my eyes were detached, my heart was cold, the irony was suffocating. She had asked for this restriction, and I had given it to her completely and without compromise. The weeks after that were unbearable for her. I remained affectionate in my words only when it was necessary for the children, but I stopped pursuing any kind of closeness with her. Our home became quiet, tense, and deeply uncomfortable. Even our friends started to notice the change in her. She avoided eye contact, she seemed restless, irritable all the time. Finally, one evening, she confronted me. Her voice was sharp, laced with panic. "Liam, what's happening? Why are you so distant?" I asked for 1 night a month. "This isn't what I imagined." I looked at her calmly. "You asked for 1 night a month, Sophia? That's exactly what I gave you. I'm following your rules." Her face twisted with frustration. "But this isn't fair. A marriage isn't supposed to be like this." I just shrugged, keeping my voice deliberately neutral. "You told me what you wanted. I respected your boundaries. You can't complain now about the consequences of your own words." The silence that followed was deafening. I think for the first time in years, she finally understood the gravity of what she had done. She saw the emotional chasm she had created and the real impact of her constant rejection. She had assumed I would just bend, that I would keep chasing her no matter how much she pushed me away. But I chose to hold her accountable, and the only way to do that was to take her instructions literally. In the months that followed, our marriage fell apart completely. The emotional bond was shattered. I continued to live by her rule, not out of cruelty, but for the sake of clarity. I had given her exactly what she asked for, and in doing so, I had protected my own dignity and self-respect. Eventually, we separated. On paper, it was quiet and amicable, but the emotional fallout was immense. Friends and family were shocked. They couldn't understand how it all ended so suddenly, but I knew the truth. A marriage can't survive when one person refuses to connect and the other refuses to be diminished. Looking back, her words, "only one night a month," were the wake-up call I needed. They showed me her true feelings and her willingness to let our marriage die. My choice to honor her request so literally wasn't about revenge. It was about decisiveness. It allowed me to reclaim control over my own life, to recognize my own worth, and to refuse to stay in a relationship where I wasn't valued. Now, years later, I'm stronger and wiser. I've learned to spot the early signs of emotional withdrawal and to never compromise my own dignity. Sophia's attempt to control our intimacy ultimately became the key to my freedom. By giving her exactly what she asked for, I found the strength and clarity to walk away from a betrayal and build a better life for myself. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever felt undervalued in a relationship, know that your feelings are valid and your dignity matters. Please remember to subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.